All right. We are going to wait for some people to come in before we really get going with this. And as you guys see on the screen, that is the travel package for next year in Ireland that Irv Smith is an ambassador for. The company is Executive Global Tours, and that is a golf package for next year in Dublin, Ireland, when Notre Dame heads over there to play the Navy midshipmen. But like I said, we will wait just a little bit to get the talk going until some others come in. First things first, this is a very special stream tonight because this is for subscribers only. First time we've ever done this. I didn't even know there was such a feature, which is pretty cool. Yeah, that's four in here, Ben. That's not bad. Not bad at all. And you come on whenever you can. Oh, well, now that little eyeball logo says no. There's only one now. Now back up to 3. All right, guys, I will take this off. This little banner here. So what is up, everyone? How are you guys on this this wonderful Thursday evening? Just one more work day for all of us until the weekend, and one more day until game day for when the Irish meet the Cal Berkeley Golden Bears. So yeah, it has been a rough start for the Irish in this 2022 season. Not really what all of us expected, at least not for one game anyway. I mean, nobody's shocked that we lost to Ohio State, but the big shocker for sure has been losing to Marshall, which was just, there's so many ways to describe it. Dreadful, that's one, but I don't even think that's good enough. I'd say atrocious would be a better way to describe that. But anyway, folks, make your in the comment section. Let us know that you're here. Ask some questions. Make some comments. Go for it. Shoot, fire away. But yeah, just a little last minute stream that Ben and I decided on. Unfortunately, Ben is Ben is at work as he is doing the stream. He's going to try to get in here for a little bit, hopefully. But yeah, but one thing that Ben and I talked about in the I can't remember if we said this in the Cal preview that we dropped yesterday or in the recap for Marshall. I think it was the preview for Cal, but it's crazy, man. The only ones who really have been safe and consistent this year through 2 games has been the Georgia Bulldogs. And I mean, the 2 opponents they played, Oregon and then Samford last week, they've just been they've killed everybody so far. But of course, this is a Notre Dame stream. We'll try to focus more on them, even though some of you may not want to. But anyway, so where to begin here? 0-2, not what we expected. And of course, what really sucks is Drew Pine going down last week in the Marshall game, and so now here we are with a quarterback battle that, well, not a battle, but having to replace a quarterback that we really didn't want to have to do. But Marcus Freeman is forced to do it. But the good news about it, Drew Pine does have some game experience. He knows the playbook. And I'm not worried about that. I'm really not, because in the game experience that he has had, he hasn't looked terrible. He is one that does know how to throw the ball pretty well. Not the best with his feet, but I actually think that you can set this offense up to be, made for like a pro style quarterback that he is. And it all depends on the offensive line. That's what it boils down to. Harry Hiestand has got to get that offensive line going. Because last week against Marshall, we were getting pushed around a little bit, and that is very concerning because, we've had some Marshall fans getting on us all this week and in the recap after the recap. And myself personally, I expected it, because when you go on an angry rant for about 5 minutes, well, even without the rant, you knew that people were going to be coming and leaving their comments, talking crap, and that's just how it is. So that part I expected, but man, for people to get really like over the wall, bent out of shape, holy cow! But I'm sorry, I stand by with what I said. You are not supposed, when you're a top quality, a top Power 5 team, you should not be getting pushed around by a team like Marshall. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. It's not. You should not be getting pushed around by a team like that, and you certainly shouldn't be losing to them on your home turf. But in particular, the offensive line, they were getting pushed around, and that was not good. So it's like Ben and I talked about in the preview, Cal worries me. They really do. This is no slouch of a team. And one thing I didn't realize, speaking of Cal, is that Ben and I already got a previous look at their quarterback, that what's his name? Jack Plummer, I believe his name is, because he played for Purdue, and Ben and I were at the Purdue game last year. So Golden Playbook, what's up, dude? Got anything on your mind? Let's hear it. Because when we do these live streams, whenever we get the chance to, it's for you guys, the fans. And of course, I'm talking fans of Notre Dame. But if you consider yourself a fan of us, that's great too. So, no, the most important thing is getting in that win column this weekend. We've got to break the win column. And then maybe Marcus Freeman can get that, get that monkey off his back, if you will. Just get that first win, and then take it from there. But I got to tell you guys, this is really cool to see. This feature with the subscribers only thing. Going in and being able to watch yourself through the studio page and then seeing yourself live. It's really cool. Yes, the Golden Playbook. I agree. I can't stress that enough. You'll probably hear me mention it again all throughout the stream. We need to improve the offensive line needs. Hey, and also, I was telling Ben this before I went live, and I don't know how much this affects anybody who was waiting to come on earlier, but or waiting for the stream, I mean, when I say that. I wasn't sure if I was able to do this through StreamYard, but I was able to. They do let you do the subscriber only feature through through StreamYard. So this is a new thing. This is a really new thing, and Ben and I are learning things all the time with doing the show and whatnot. But anyway, of all the people who are watching, it says 3 right now. But I'll post this in the comment or in the live stream. But here is the link if you want to come into the stream and talk with me. Hopefully we can hopefully Ben comes in here later. But yeah, you want to shoot the breeze? Let's shoot the breeze. Talk some football. Oh, Golden Playbook. I absolutely agree with that. I'll put it on the screen. This is Tommy's last chance to improve. If he doesn't, he needs to go. I'm sorry. We will see what happens. I'm sure that's what you meant to see or to say. Yeah, no, I agree completely. I don't hate Tommy Reese as a person. I think Ben and I both made that clear. He's a good person, but he was the offensive coordinator all of last season. We are 2 games so far into this season, but correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's actually been with the program as a coach for what, like 2 years before this. Let me check. I'm going to double check that. Even during the live stream, you got to be able to, take a quick time out to, check your sources, make sure the information is correct. Okay. He began his coaching career at Northwestern. He spent 1 season as a offensive graduate assistant for the 2015 team. 2016, he was with the Chargers. Yes, in January 2017, Reese returned to Notre Dame to be the quarterback's coach. On January 14th, 2020, Reese was officially promoted to offensive coordinator, replacing Chip Long. Okay, so yeah, he's been the offensive coordinator for 2 years. So now that I for sure know that is really saying a lot. 2 years and 2 games into this season, and nothing's really changed. Only now we're struggling. So yeah, I think after knowing that and knowing how long he's been with Notre Dame in that specific position, and I guess if you wanted to go further, you could say that he's been a problem with developing quarterbacks too. But I don't know. Ian Book was good. Jack Cohn did all right, and I'm talking about the quarterbacks in his tenure. I don't know. I really don't know. But no, that's definitely fair. He should. I think it's fair to say he, at the very minimum, he should be on the hot seat. Which you can't say that everything's been his fault, but when we're talking in particular about Tommy doing his job, he hasn't been doing it well. It's been a consistent. It's been staying put, and now what we've seen so far through 2 games, it's starting to decline. So, yeah, I agree. Oh, hey, Craig Sebring, what's going on, man? People need to quit. I agree. People need to quit giving Marcus Freeman heat. It's his first season. He needs time. I know, it's been freaking ridiculous. I've seen this, and this is probably why Ben and I have both decided to quit, posting our videos on a lot of the Notre Dame Facebook pages. I mean, you go on those Facebook pages, holy crap, it's a freaking joke. A complete joke. I mean, yeah, people calling for Marcus Freeman and for him to be fired after only 3 total games coached. It's just, what is with these people? I swear to God, these people should be in straitjackets. Why would after 3 games you're wanting a coach fired? I've never seen that before, really. Because I mean, yeah, it sucks we've lost these first 2 games, but a coach needs time to get his own system in place. Quick little message on Twitter here. Ben and I have both been very active on Twitter lately. Some people hate it, some people like it, but you guys know how it goes. All right, back to business here. 11 people watching. That's awesome. Craig Sebring. We need to see what Tobias Merriweather can do. Yes, thank you. Thank you. I agree 100%. And you know what? I'm not gonna say this without giving credit to the one who originally said it, but I was checking out John from Always Irish. I was watching his preview today, and if he happens to see this, hey John, great preview. I loved it. Great points. But Tobias Merriweather is a 6'4" wide receiver, and it doesn't matter if he's a freshman or not. He's got the height to go for those jump balls. So get him on the field. I mean, if everybody, all the coaches are saying that, oh, he's burning people, he's making some great catches during practice, then put him on the field. I mean, you don't have enough wiggle room to be moving guys in and out. We need to be using all our wide receivers. Tony, don't think I've seen this guy before. Sorry, but he was. I assume you're referring to Marcus Freeman. Sorry, but he was overhyped. They were parading him around like he just won the national championship. They were ranked too high. I would have had the team at 10. I knew it would be a rebuild. Dude, it's 2 games in. 2 games in, dude. Nobody was parading him around like he had just won the national championship, but the guy has done a great job at every job he's had. I mean, I think Ben and I did discuss this recently. So the players were excited to have him. The players obviously made their voices heard that that's who they wanted. You know, Jack Swarbrick and Father Jenkins. I'm pretty sure that Marcus Freeman was not the only one they were considering for the head coach. But you got to realize, too, that sometimes there's things that you take a chance on. Yes, this is Marcus Freeman's first head coaching position. Well, guess what? Every head coach obviously was a first-time head coach at one point. I don't get this craziness. I'm not saying that your comment was stupid or anything, but you got to give a guy more than just 3 games that he's coached in as a head coach. Okay? A lot, if not all coaches in football have started as coordinators. Marcus Freeman, he has been mostly a defensive guy, linebackers, I believe at Kent State, defensive coordinator at Ohio State, defensive coordinator at Cincinnati. Then, of course, last season, defensive coordinator with us. So, yeah, things might not always go the way for a first-time head coach. Show a little tolerance. I mean, you don't know that. Okay, I don't know that Marcus Freeman is going to go on to be one of the greatest head coaches in Notre Dame history. I don't, but you don't know that he won't, Tony. So show some tolerance. Get behind this guy. I mean, and what's wrong with being excited about a coach that's younger than most coaches? Because you expect most coaches to be older guys, but he's the same age as me. Marcus Freeman's 36. I'm 36, which is is crazy. I can't believe I'm that old already. But yeah, why would you not want to get excited over that? A younger coach, he has some energy. He's the players were so excited when he came into the locker room announced as their head coach. So yeah, I don't understand this way of thinking. Golden Playbook. I think that Steve Angeli should get a shot over Drew Pine. I'm going to give Drew Pine a chance, but if he's making mistakes, Benjamin well, of course. I mean, that makes perfect sense. If Drew Pine struggles badly, then yeah, give the freshman Angeli a chance. Because at that point, you would be in full rebuild mode. But Tony, they're not in rebuild mode yet. Now, if we start going, 0-3 or 0-4, then yeah, we're in rebuild mode. But 0-2, we've got a chance to turn the season around. I mean, there's still 10 games to play. Don't be jumping ship. I just don't get it with a lot of fans out there, and I especially know the realists that I deal with all the time. And I'm not saying that you're one of them, but you just had a comment. Let me see here. I am not saying to get rid of him at all. He was all over social media constantly. He was everywhere. He was everywhere. That's what I'm saying. I'm not giving up on him. Well, no, but you're saying that he was overhyped. They were parading him around like they just won the national championship. The Irish were ranked too high. Well, if you want to say that they were ranked too high, that's fine. But there's a lot of teams every year that maybe don't exactly deserve their ranking. But I think it was fair because look at all the talent that was coming back despite what all we lost. You know, I mean, it doesn't hurt. We had everyone was excited about Tyler Buckner because he showed flashes of the great things that he could do in the time that he did get last year. Okay, no, that obviously didn't turn out to be the case this year, but you don't always know what's going to happen. And besides, with the rankings, you got to start somewhere. Because I mean, we had a killer defense coming back, a lot of weapons on offense. Harry Heastand, which like we said, Ben and I said in a prior video, he has done wonders with the offensive line in the past, and it was a great hire, I think, to bring him back because this was definitely an offensive line that needed some help last year. They got it together halfway, after the halfway point of the season. So I don't know. I just all I can say is things haven't been what we thought they were going to be. At least not through 2 games. That's what I'm saying. But like I said, we have a chance to turn this around. And you know what? This could be like 2015. I mean, yeah, granted, but the difference between this season and 2015 is we hadn't lost a game yet. But coming into the Virginia game that year, Malik Zaire, he was, that's supposed to be the next big thing. He goes down in Virginia with a torn ACL. This could be a similar situation. You never know. Only difference is we're 0-2 right now instead of 2-0. I mean, I want to just focus one game at a time, but there's nothing that says that Pine couldn't come in there and kick ass. If you build the right kind of offense around him and play to his strengths and not set him up for a chance to succeed where, his weaknesses don't get the better of him, then they could pull off something great here. They could get going. This could be another thing like where Deshaun Kaiser comes in for Malik Zaire and they just rally. They turn their season around. Because let's face it, all of us Irish fans, we were all doom and gloom back then when Malik Zaire went down because we didn't know what we had at quarterback, behind him. Well, this case, we kind of do have a little bit of an idea because Drew Pine has actually seen some playing time. So really, there's nothing that says that Drew Pine couldn't go in there and kick ass, and we rally to a 10-2 season. But of course, like I said, one game at a time. But of course, I completely understand that the morale is down in the fan base and with the program for how the season has started. I mean, yeah, I hate the fact that our playoff chances are just kaput after 2 games. Some of you might not have even expected playoffs coming into the season, but I don't care. That's fine. If you guys have heard me say this before. Even if you don't like our chances with certain things, that's fine. But I think you should be a little more optimistic about your team, especially if this is the team that you claim to love. I mean, what I've seen some of the fans doing in the Notre Dame fan base and that, the cancerous element, as I refer to them as, where they're just, writing the team off before the season even starts. I mean, I heard it so much, people saying we were going to lose by 30 or 40 to Ohio State. That didn't happen. Yeah, we still lost, but I'd say an 11-point loss is better than a 30 or 40-point loss any day. But even that doesn't matter because there's no such thing as moral victories. So let's see. The Golden Playbook. You never know what Pine could do. We will see what he can do for 4 quarters unless they bring Steve Angeli out on the field in second half, but I'm not sure they probably will. They probably will keep Drew Pine in. Yeah, I think so too. The only way that you put Angeli in the game is if we somehow get up by 35, 40 points in the fourth quarter, or at least to a spot where the game is already won and in hand. But no, you keep Drew Pine in all the way. Tony says, I personally thought Pine was just slightly a little better. Before the season, I had them 9-3. Okay. See, that's where I'm different. Ben and I are different than a lot of people out there because we don't predict our team to lose. I just don't see what kind of fan I would be if I actually predicted my team to lose. Because I'm a fan first. And as I've said many times, whatever, I'm never going to pick them to lose, but whatever happens on that field happens, and I will accept it and I will deal with it. And even though some of you probably didn't think so with the rant I went on after the Marshall game, no, I dealt with it and I accepted that it happened. Doesn't mean I'm going to be happy about it though. Let's see. I want to check something here real quick. For the record, I haven't decided how long this stream is going to go. I wish I could say that Ben and I did this for a living, but unfortunately, that's not the case. And I do have to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning for work. But awesome. 11 people are here. The subscriber count hasn't risen, so I'm sure all of you guys watching are people that have already been subscribed to the channel. Up to 13 now. Awesome. Golden Playbook. The offense has got to get going. Yes, I agree. I hate speaking for Ben, but he's not here at the moment. But he nailed it, man, and 100% truth in this statement. The fact that it's been 2 games and Chris Tyree has only gotten what? 14 carries through 2 games. Unacceptable. This is a guy who has pure speed and you're not giving him the ball. What the hell? But overall the run game has been atrocious, which I think a good part of that has been because the offensive line has been inconsistent. And I already covered, the Tobias Merriweather thing and the receivers. I mean, if you're not going to get the playmakers on the field or go downfield, then yeah, it's going to struggle. But yes, it's got to get going. The players are there in place to get it done. It's like, just keep it simple. Hang on one sec. I hate it when people message me during a show. All right. Okay, so back to you guys where I should be. TikTok Chess All. What's up, my man? Hey, Sean. It's SEAN, buddy. No big deal, though. Hope you're doing good, brother. God bless you, man, for real great content. Thank you. You too. Chess, you got time? If you want to get on here and talk for a few minutes, you're welcome to. I will. Here is the link. And this isn't just for Chess. This is for anybody who wants to come in and voice an opinion. Our good buddy Bob Walker. Go to power rushing, short passes, screens, and slants to get ball out of Pine. Yep, that'd be a good approach. Pine's hand quickly to boost confidence. I couldn't agree more. The Golden Playbook. I don't know what it is. Tommy Reese not preparing his offense good. Is Harry not preparing the offensive line good? it don't see like it. Sorry, dude. Or is it the play calling? I don't know, man. I really don't. I think it's really just a mixture of anything. You know, I mean, in Marshall in particular, it wasn't just the offense; it was the defense too. I mean, nobody, we were just out of sync on both sides of the ball. The only thing that's been 100% consistent through 2 games has been special teams, in particular the punting game. I mean, our punter, what's his name, Scott Alt or something like that. That guy has been phenomenal with his punting. I don't know how many yards he's punted for or what his but I think his average is like 45 yards or something like that. But no, he's been the most consistent one, and Blake Groupie, the kicker, he's only had 1 attempt, so can't really judge too much off of that. But hey, he's made it. No, but I've Tony says, I felt it was the O-line. They were not blocking well, so the run game. Yeah, exactly. You can't get your run game established when the offensive linemen are getting pushed around. And when they're getting pushed around by a team like Marshall, oh, Lord, that is a lot of cause for concern. Golden Playbook. If the offense can't hold their blocks, it could be lack of preparation. Harry's in charge of that. Yeah, he's got to be held accountable too. Everybody, every coach at every position, and then of course I include Marcus Freeman in that too. They've all got to be held accountable for not doing their job when they don't do it. Bob Walker says Irish seems soft in the trenches on both sides of the ball. Irish need to run the ball and stop the run. See, it's simple. Exactly. That's your bread and butter right there. But no, another thing that was really disturbing in last week against Marshall, our defense let Marshall run on us for over 200 yards. Now, granted, when you have an inconsistent offense, and they're going 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, I get that. You're going to be tired. But there were times when the defense had a chance to rest, so you can't use that excuse throughout the whole game last week. So, yeah. But I don't know. I just I've been an Irish fan for a long time, and it just I've seen them get off to bad starts like this. I've of course lived through losing seasons. I mean, hell, the 15 years between Bob Davie and Ty Willingham, Charlie Weiss, that was a disaster. I mean, I can't think of one Irish fan who wasn't miserable. But it's just like now that we've gotten the momentum back, and as much of a jerk off that he is, or that he turned into, Brian Kelly, when he was here, he gave this program a big time boost and got us back to relevancy. And after everything that we've seen in the last 5 years, winning, let's see, since 2017, we've won 10 plus games every year. And then to see that, and then see this, going 0-2 and losing to smaller opponents that you shouldn't be losing to, that's like when you ask a girl out and she rejects you. And then to stick the knife in, she ends up dating your best friend or something like that. That's what this feels like right now as a Notre Dame fan. Golden Playbook. I'm glad you brought this up. That is huge. No turnovers through 2 games. I agree. We need to be, getting those takeaways. Tony says, I feel like Audric Estime has a great potential to be the next Josh Adams if they block from. Well, of course. No, I think we have, of this group, we have 2 guys. And I would say Logan Diggs, Audric. Well, no, 3. No, we have 3 guys actually. Because how could I be stupid and forget Chris Tyree? Chris Tyree, Logan Diggs, and Audric Estime. Those guys could be a deadly trio if this line opened up the holes for them. Bob says both Irish games, the D gave up scores on 90 plus. Yeah, I know. When you have the offense backed up, you got to capitalize and make a stop there. Tony says he's been a super fan since 1987. That's cool. I was a year old at that point. Of course, Bob, you and I talked about this. Super duper fan since 1962. I've seen greatness and terrible teams, Tony. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Ben says, yo. And then he says, give me a few minutes and I can come on. Awesome, Ben. Can't wait to see you here, buddy. Of course, you're at work. So if you want to, just use your profile pic or something, that's cool. Golden playbook. The offensive line needs to create lanes for Chris Tyree, some room to run. If you don't, then they will continue to have problems with the run game unless they improve. Yeah, I agree. I mean, Ben and I were talking before when the season started that we mentioned that Buckner in the Ohio State game only threw the ball 18 times. And yeah, you want to see a quarterback pass more than that, but if you can't, the thing is, you can't not have a run game and expect your quarterback to throw 60 times. Now, of course, some of you might bring up teams like, I don't know, Texas Tech or Oklahoma State, or hell, even some teams from the MAC. There's some programs in that conference that do it, but that's not what you want to do. And granted, I guess maybe those teams base their offenses around the pass, but you have to have some balance between both the run and the pass. You have to, or else you're going to be in trouble. Bob says get Tyree into the pass patterns. Yeah, he's been good out of that backfield catching passes. Golden Playbook says Chris Tyree needs more reps. Wonder why he's not on the field more. He's got talent. I don't know. I mean, a lot of us have been saying the same, and I'm sure you guys have too. We've been saying the same thing about Tobias Merriweather. Why is he not on the field? I mean, like I said earlier, he's a freshman, but you're at a point in that receiver room that you don't have a choice. You have to play guys. And besides, with the new NCAA rules, where a guy can play, I think, 4 or 5 games and still keep his red shirt or whatever. If that's what they're trying to do, then okay, I get it. But you can give him some playing experience. But I know Chris Tyree, why he is not getting the majority of reps or a lot of reps in general. I don't get that. I don't get what they're trying to do by. That's your talent. Use him. Golden playbook. Oh wait, I already read that. Sorry. Benny, what's up? How you doing, man? If ND wins, the green jersey should be the unis for the rest of the season at home. I wouldn't be opposed to it. 15 people in here. That's awesome. I think the highest that Ben and I have ever had for a live stream was like 20 at one point. I think we hit the 20 mark once. Tony says, oh my God, great point about Chris not being on the field anymore. We can't say that enough. I mean, he's a playmaker. You put your playmakers on the field. It's not complicated. Craig says, forget the red shirt. It's time to start winning. I agree. You really can't. This season, you can't really afford to red shirt guys. But like I said, even if they do red shirt guys, 2 things. The red shirt can either come off at one point or you can play them for 4 or 5 games, whatever it is. I want to say it's 4 games that a red shirt can play. Drunk Vigo. I think I've seen you before. The show has gone viral. I mean, 14 people watching, that's quite a crowd. I'm gonna do a quick YouTube search just to see if where we show up on the search. I know they have it broken down here between the news and top news and then the videos. We are, let's see. There's the notes headed into Cal video, Marcus Freeman press conference, then there's 2 news stories. And then there's us. Yep, Notre Dame football talk live. We're like let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we're the 6th video down on YouTube search. I'd like to see the Irish put quarterback under center, run from an I formation with Bowman at fullback. I guess you could do that, but I don't know. It'd be kind of risky. I mean, granted, a lot of tight ends do play fullback. Got to stop the bleeding in the game. Yeah. Oh, look who's here. What up, buddy?
Hey, what's up?
Welcome to the man of the hour, Irish Benjamin 57. What's up, buddy?
Not much. Just got a couple minutes. I'm on break.
All right, let me ask you what you think of this comment first. Drunk Vigo says, he says that I look like Driscoll's cousin. What do you think? Do I look anything like Brian Driscoll?
A tidbit, but I wouldn't say it. I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, screw you both.
Oh, that's great.
No, I don't care. I don't know. I guess I'd have to get a better look at Brian Driscoll to see if that's true or not. So Ben, what's on your mind, man?
Not a whole lot. Just getting more and more antsy for this game, man. This is a put up or shut up game, in my opinion. You gotta find a way to win this game. Point blank. End of story. And the comment down below that was saying if they win with the green jerseys, they need to have those the rest of the year. No. Here's what I'm going to say. If they win on Saturday, they need to just promote Manny Te'o to the coaching staff because it's going to be all because of him.
Well, I'll say this, having him back on campus for this game, that could definitely give us some energy because that guy always put regardless of what you people might think of him, he always put his heart and soul into Notre Dame when he was there.
Oh, yeah, he was a baller. And he was honestly one of the greatest linebackers to ever play college football.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not even just coming from a Notre Dame, since he went to Notre Dame. I mean, if he had played anywhere else, I'd be saying that about him.
Oh, yeah. Well, he almost went to USC. We all know his history with
and at that point in time, they had a very good tradition of linebackers. I mean, they had a core that went to 4 straight Rose Bowls, and all 3 of those dudes got drafted.
Yeah. And he picked us over that.
Yeah.
So a couple quick comments. Vigo says I could pass as a cousin of Driscoll's. I don't know. I guess
maybe went a little thinner. He's put on a little bit of weight.
This is a question for you, Ben.
The whisper boxes behind me. I'll show you what they are. We got some lovely premium absorbent toilet paper behind me. Normally one of them's open, but
don't show us how to use it, okay? Nobody in the stream wants to see that. I don't want to see that.
I'm a Notre Dame fan during the day and a custodian during the night. So, yep.
Yeah, this is unfortunately why, guys. We can't really do a lot of stuff during the week because Ben's got to work a night job. Way to go.
Yeah. That's a lot of money on babysitting, though. I will say that.
Right. But I can't blame you there. Golden Playbook says, I have a problem with the play calling. They have to make adjustments. They have to, and they can't keep calling the same play on every drive. Yes.
It's funny that you say this, Golden Playbook, because I posted on our Twitter today. So I sat down probably about an hour before I went to work, sat down with the kiddo, and I watched the beginning part of the 2018 Michigan versus Notre Dame game in South Bend. And I saw a few things right off the bat that they were doing then that we're not doing right now. And the biggest one was the adjustments and the blitz recognition. And I even said that. I go, blitz recognition was a thing, and we countered it with slants. I mean, so yeah, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be changed. And it's, like one of our buddies, John at Always Irish, he goes, well, I'm not an X's and O's guy. But it doesn't take a genius to realize what needs to be done here. I mean, you don't even have to have legit all-time knowledge of football ins and outs. I mean, if I put my wife out there and told her, what do we need to do, she'd have somewhat of an idea what to do if something's not working. I just don't understand that. Like, I don't know.
Well, I guess that there's a reason why you and I, along with everybody else on here, sit at home and they pay those guys to do the job.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's just it, though. You pay these guys to do the job. And I'm not saying that I could do a better job or anything, but, this should be something simple to figure out.
Yeah. Yep.
Tommy was calling pass plays that only went for 5 yards, just short passes. I wonder if Tommy is afraid to throw the ball downfield.
Yeah, and see, that's and you hit the nail on the head. And that was another part of my tweet. I did like 5 things that they were doing in that game, in that Michigan game. There was a lot of 50-50 balls, and there was a lot of, in my opinion, trust throws that it's the quarterback's making a throw that says, I trust my receiver. He's going to get it. I trust that he's going to get it, and he will get it. And we're not seeing that. And I'm not even asking for, it's 3rd and 15 and we do a pass play that's, a 25-yard route. I'm not even asking for that. Let's throw the ball 10 yards and have the guy catch and get 5. Why aren't we doing that? I mean, get Braden Lindsey over the middle in a slant pattern and let him turn on the jets. I don't understand that.
Well, it's just, we were talking earlier too. I mean, I have you been watching this whole time?
Not a whole lot.
Okay. Well, we were talking about that before, me and everybody else here in the live chat. There's all these guys too that aren't getting on the field that should be. I mean, in particular, we can't say his name enough. Tobias Merriweather, wide receiver. John made this. John, I got to give credit to who originally said, like I was telling everybody else here. John, he said in his show earlier today, if you have this guy who is 6'4", he has speed, and he's making all these great catches during practice, then get him on the field and let's see what he can do there.
Yeah.
Because you're not in a position on this team anywhere.
No.
Nowhere to be redshirting guys and
especially in
guys out.
The thinnest position group on Notre Dame's team currently is wide receiver. I mean, you have no room for that right now at all. If we were like 10 deep at the wide receiver position, then I would understand that. But I mean, we're lucky we got 5 guys dressing for every game. So yeah, I agree with you. And I agree with John because I remember him saying that. I was actually on that. I was calling in on that show of his. So yeah, I mean, this Cal game will be really telling. It's how do you respond to this adversity? Because everybody is counting you out. Everybody except for Vegas. The spread's like what? 11 points, 14 points, something like that. So Vegas is saying Notre Dame is going to win this game.
I think it was 10.
Nobody else is saying you're winning this game. Nobody.
I mean, you've got a lot in your own fan base that
aren't saying, no. And the problem is, and I tend not to be that fan, but I mean, we haven't seen much. And like we said in our preview that we released yesterday, statistically, Cal is the better team if you're going by statistics. So what does that tell you? Notre Dame's got their work cut out for them if you're going by the statistics. That's a fact.
Yeah.
So it is understandable that fans in the fan base right now are questioning whether we can beat Cal or not. And it's ridiculous. We should never be in a situation, even on our worst year, where we're going, I don't know if we can beat Cal, a team that struggled against the worst team in football that is UNLV.
I know. I don't believe what's going on right now. It's crazy because we're a better team than this. We really are. And despite what we lost, we have the talent that could, we've almost just about reached the spot where it's, at least I thought we did, where it's okay, we lose some guys, but we don't rebuild, we reload.
Yeah.
But not seeing that yet.
Yeah.
But let's get to a couple comments here. Craig Sebring says, why don't we run different variations of the screen? Hardly see them this year.
I agree.
It's a good point.
Yep. I agree with that.
Drunk Vigo says, I'm ready for TR11 to pursue his NFL dream, bro. TR11. You talking about Tommy Reese?
Oh yeah, I had to think about that one for a second. Yeah.
I guess that was his number, wasn't it? No, he was number 11.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, if you're trying to audition for the NFL, this is not the way to audition, if you will. And I'm not nothing, but I mean, yep.
Let's see. Oh, go ahead, dude. Sorry.
Nope, go.
All right. Bob Walker says, receivers not fighting to get open. Buckner did throw some long passes, but overthrew a wide open Lindsey for a touch. Yeah, I saw that. That was bad.
Yeah.
And right off his fingertips too.
Yeah.
Yeah. TR11 is ready to take over for Belichick. Yeah, right.
I would love that.
Oh, that'd be funny as hell.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. You're talking to the Dolphins fan in this live chat right now, so I'd love to see that.
Hell, for this Bears fan, have Green Bay pick him up. Tony says he has the Cal game 21-13. That's about where I had him.
That's a stroke right there. But yeah, I'll take a win. I'd take anything right now.
I think I said 28-21. The Golden Playbook. I love this team. I want to see them succeed. I like Notre Dame since I was a kid and just love this team. I'm a diehard fan of this team. Oh, that's awesome, dude.
Yep.
We need more people like you that love this team unconditionally.
You know what? John gets the credit for this, but when you ride with the team through the highs and especially the lows, there's more of a satisfaction when they're good. And I can tell you, as a Dolphins fan who has had a number of years of just watching terrible play, this year is a breath of fresh air, and I'm excited for what's happening. So stay the course. That's all I'll say.
Bob Walker says, but remember, Ben, Vegas odds are based on the people who are placing the bets on the two teams.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, that means America believes that Notre Dame is the better team, quote unquote. I mean, I don't know. The pundits, the people that actually matter, the selection committees and these coaches and stuff do not think what Vegas is saying and what rest of America is saying. So I put a little more stock into those committees of people that have actually played the sport and have actually been around it. So,
new guy that I've never seen on the stream or on the comments or anywhere on the channel before. Maybe he's been there. I don't know. Natrix says, can you say that due to some similarities, at least with arm power and height, that Tommy could use similar play calls that he used with Ian Book back in 2020, or does that not match the personnel?
It's funny that Natrix says that.
Wow.
I saw somebody else bring this up on Twitter, and I can't remember who it was, but somebody was saying that Pine is more of a Tommy Reese type, and maybe he would do better with Tommy Reese, like play calling wise. Possibility. And if he does, okay. I mean, at this point, it's what can we do to improve the season and what can we do to salvage the season? So before this becomes a very tumultuous situation where we're going 4-8 like we did in, what was that, 2017? 2016, whatever it was. So yeah, I mean, if that happens, I'm okay with it. I mean, I'm not saying it's the best case scenario, but I'm okay with it.
Well, the thing is with me as a fan, and maybe I'm too much of a fan, I don't know, but I don't think you could ever be too much of a fan. As long as you're being real at the end of the game and accepting what just happened, then okay. I don't think you have a problem there. Or I don't think that's a problem. But the way I'm looking at it is we have 10 games to play, and we do have a chance here to like you said, salvage the season and or what's the word I'm thinking of?
Make a run.
Well, no, not make a run. It's there's
Well,
what
I mean,
I'm thinking of something.
get a good bowl game if you win out. I mean, best case scenario, Notre Dame wins out, which it's going to be a little bit of a daunting task because now, I thought, maybe we could. I wasn't super concerned about Brigham Young, but Brigham Young's looking really good. I mean, this weekend will tell us a little more because they're playing Oregon, but I Brigham Young is in their stride, and I think Clemson's about to hit their stride, and that's two teams that. I don't know. And Southern Cal's looking pretty good too. So,
well, I knew what I was going to say. We have a chance at this point to redeem ourselves.
Yeah.
Redeem. That's what I was trying to think of.
Clemson, if you can beat Brigham Young in Vegas, beat Clemson at home. I do, and we travel out west because last year we were home against Southern Cal. So we travel out west to LA. If we can do that, if we can win all the rest of our games and do those games, yeah, we redeem ourselves. I mean, a fluke loss to Marshall, you lose to Ohio State. Everybody kind of expected that. Yeah, that's my last point because I got to get back to work. So
okay, because real quick, because with 10 games to play, that's 2 top 5 teams that you still have on your schedule. You have some of those other teams that climbed up in the into the rankings. If we go on a run and win these last 10 games, we still have a shot at an NY6 bowl.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that's going to happen. Right. I'm not guaranteeing that to happen, but I'm just saying.
Scenario.
Okay. Well, what was did you have any final thoughts that you wanted to give?
Nope.
Well, it's too bad you aren't allowed to slack on the job because I'm sure everybody here would like to have you back because you're the brains of this operation.
Yeah, that's a scary proposition right now. Anyway, y'all have a good night and go Irish.
Go Irish. Thanks for showing up, Ben. It was great to have you as always. Not trying to say like I'm the host of the show, he's the co-host, but I just wasn't sure if he was going to be able to show up tonight or not, which was awesome. But anyway, getting back to some of your guys' comments here. I kind of figured you were drunk, Vigo. I am saying politely that I want him gone. I figured you were, but that was funny as hell. Golden Playbook, you said I'm not big on Tommy Reese, but going to give him one last chance. Yeah, he's had 2 years as the OC, and when things are not only staying the same but regressing, then yeah, you should be on the hot seat. Tony says, I get so passionate watching them at a bar. I have to do it at home. I think I have broken 5 remotes, LOL. Yeah, I think when I was younger, I think I have 1 broken remote to my resume. But other than that, I usually try to I try not to break stuff. I usually just want to go on. I just try to limit myself to just getting pissed off and going on a short rant. But yeah, because I mean, it's like, why break stuff when you paid for it? that's my that's what I came to realize a while ago. I'll tell you a quick story though. I did get passionate one time, and this was after a win, not a loss. It was 2009 against Michigan State, and you guys remember that one when Kyle McCarthy picked off the pass inside the 20-yard line to seal the deal. I went apeshit. Just ape shit. And of course, there was some personal stuff behind that game as well. But I cheered so loud that somebody who was passing through in my neighborhood heard my cheering, mistook it for a domestic dispute going on, and called the cops. So there were 3 cop cars in my driveway thinking that coming to see me because they thought me cheering at a Notre Dame game was a domestic dispute. So yeah, I've gone a little far with my emotions too. Bob says, I'm an old man and sorry guys, I have to go. Boom booms. Y'all have a good night. Bob, thank you so much for showing up. And also I got to read your last comment here. If we go 6-6, it looks like the Pineapple Bowl for the Irish. You started the shtick that time, not me. And for those of you guys who don't know what Bob's talking about, it's a long story, but myself personally, all these smaller bowl games who, no, Vigo, he says, you got locked up for ND, bro. No, I didn't get locked up. They just talked to me. They actually got a kick out of it. Those cops were laughing when they heard what was really going on. That was just me cheering at a game. And we were talking football for a good 10 minutes while they were there. But with Bob's comment about the Pineapple Bowl, for those of you who haven't been following Ben and I for this long, the long and the short of it is this. These smaller bowl games outside the NY6, with the exception of the classic ones like the Gator Bowl, the Sun Bowl, what's another good small one? The Citrus Bowl. Ones that could be NY6 level bowls but aren't. The ones that go past that are just the sponsor in the name of the bowl. It's just the sponsor. Like, for example, the Duke Mayo Bowl. These small bowl games should have their own name, and the sponsor should be separate, if that makes sense to you guys. Because it's just like, I understand that these sponsors sponsor the games, and I get that they're wanting to push their product, but come on, the bowl game has to have its own name. Like, for example, and Ben and I did a video about this a while back. It's the Cheez-It Bowl now, and I forget. Oh, it was the Camping World Bowl that Notre Dame played Iowa State in. Like the Camping World Bowl. Okay, Camping World, that's fine with that being I'm fine with that being in the title, but why can't that bowl game have its own name? And the name for that bowl that I came up with was the Pineapple Bowl. Because, it's in Florida. It's a tropical environment. And I know when you think pineapples, you think Hawaii, but I did my history for that game, and the state of Florida, before Hawaii joined the nation, was the largest producers of pineapple in the United States. So that's my point. Give these bowls their own names and keep the sponsor separate. Golden Playbook. Tommy is a Brian Kelly guy. We have to get rid of Tommy so we don't have memories of Brian Kelly. Yeah, you could be onto something there. Tony says, that's funny. I had neighbors come to my door because I was too loud. The funny thing is, this wasn't even an apartment complex. It was a house that I was renting out at the time, at the time. So I didn't even have, I don't know how they heard me, to be honest with you. I didn't have the windows open, and I don't know. And the funny thing is, it wasn't even a neighbor. It was somebody that was passing by in the neighborhood. Well, in that case, mind your own damn business. Got a question for you. Do you think Marcus Freeman will take this team to a national championship in the next 2 years? With the talent that he's bringing in, of course, as we just learned with Keon Keeley and possibly Peyton Bowen, I don't get excited about these kids until they sign on the dotted line. But with these classes that he has coming together in the next couple of years, he very well could. I have confidence that he can. Bob Walker says, oops, it was just a fart. I'm still here. I think things will get better, especially when Freeman gets a chance to pick his own players. He's trying to get the best talent, or the best possible 5-star recruits. I like Freeman. He's fighting to get the talent. Oh, when he first got here, when he was first hired on as the head coach, he was on just like a shopping spree with these top recruits. All these recruits just gravitated towards him because I think Marcus Freeman, despite how the season's gone, he still has that it factor. He has that personality that these kids can relate to, that draws these kids to him, that they can put their trust in him and all that. But like I said, I always wait till the early signing period. I wait till National Signing Day when these kids sign on the dotted line. And it doesn't hurt even before that to get excited about them. Just knowing that, hey, this kid who's a top recruit in the country is looking at you. I mean, that is exciting. Because who knows how many of these kids would have actually considered us before? it's possible that could have been the case, that they weren't even looking at us. And now that, a new head coach takes over, that could possibly change things. But yeah, it's frustrating though when you see a recruit like Keon Keeley and possibly Peyton Bowen looking to. Well, Keon, I don't know if he's signed with anybody yet, but he decommitted from us. But it's it's frustrating. And when you have a start like this to a season, it doesn't help. Because I guess apparently there was a good chunk of recruits at the Marshall game last week, and that doesn't look good in front of those guys. But of course, now that you have things in place like the transfer portal and the NIL, which I think that varies from state to state. I don't know exactly how all that works. So you essentially have free agency in the world of college football now. And I was talking with a buddy of mine over the weekend about this, and I think he's got a good point. That NIL needs to have some limitations on it, because I could be wrong about this. I could be wrong. And if you guys know the truth, then please, correct me on it. But there's an incoming freshman at Texas A&M, I believe, who has $9 million in his pocket because of NIL deals. Now, I'm not against a kid, making some money off of his name and his likeness and whatnot. But that's ridiculous for an 18-year-old kid to have $9 million. That's just trouble waiting to happen. He could get robbed, not necessarily violence either, but spending it foolishly. And come on, all of you guys think, unless you're a kid now, which I don't know if any of you are, but think back to when you were 18 and how irresponsible you were. I know I was. I thought I knew everything at 18. And if you handed me $9 million when I was 18 years old, holy hell. But I think I'm fine with it, but I just think there needs to be some limitations on it. Like at the very least, guys should be allowed to get paid for doing autograph signings and whatnot, stuff like that. Make a good chunk of money, but not something ridiculous. Bob says, however, I think Coach Freeman needs to let his players and coaches know that he's the head coach so he can criticize or bench players and get on his staff. He might be too chummy with his players. It's possible. He's definitely a player's coach. Let's not any of us get the wrong idea. But from what I've heard is that he was actually on Sunday morning after the game this week, he had a closed off practice, and he was making his voice be known to the players. Drunk Vigo says NIL has made all the shady stuff that has been going on at football factories for years legal, bro. No, I'm not saying that guys haven't always been getting paid. Of course they have. Pony Express, SMU, and all the Texas teams in the old what was it, the Southwest Conference or the Big 8 or whatever. No, they were all doing it. Just SMU was the one who happened to get caught. But of course, all these big schools have been paying money to players. It's just now legal. Like you said, absolutely. Okay, this is a guy that I'm not going to have on. I'm not talking about that subject. Anybody who wants to, you're gone. This is a football stream. Not personal stuff. But I will say this. I don't know if you guys were able to catch what that guy said, but I'll say this. I'm a clown, but I'm a free man. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Oh, let's see. I've heard that he has been pushing the players to play hard and has been pretty hard on them. Yeah, that's what I've been hearing too. See, in my opinion, there needs to be balances with coaches. It's not bad to be a player's coach, and it's not bad to be a disciplinarian type coach. But you don't want to be too friendly that the players get too lax, and you don't want to be too much of a disciplinarian where the players feel like they can't trust you or they can't come to you. There's got to be a balance. Notre Dame 2164, what's up, man? It's been a while. I want to know how an O-line full of elite talent isn't executing day one practice stuff. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, Harry Hiestand, his resume shows of how great of a coach he was with all the first round NFL talent that he has produced. I don't know. That's a hard question to answer. I don't know what the deal is with those guys. I mean, I don't. You know, one thing that I did see from I can't remember where I saw this, if it was on a message board or on Twitter or just what, but somebody thinks that it might be a conditioning issue, which I guess you can't rule it out. Damian Blue, what's up, man? The captains need to be leaders and motivate the team and take on the responsibility in a serious matter. I agree. And if they're not, then they shouldn't be captains. But all I know is going back to the offensive line. Yeah, that is very concerning when you've had these guys in the program for 3 to 4 years and they're struggling. Yeah, there's a problem somewhere. I can't really say what the problem is. I don't know if it's a lack of communication. It could be maybe some of these guys weren't as good as we thought, but I don't know if I can really say that because we've seen these guys on the line play and they've been pretty damn good. I mean, so far it doesn't look like there's been a ton of shuffling around like there was at the start of last year. Kelly didn't prepare the team at all. The players have talked about Kelly and how he operated. He just showed them film and didn't try to get the best talent. He didn't care about recruiting. I've heard the stories about that too. And I think the craziest one was that Kelly really wasn't attacking the private Catholic schools, which you think would be a given. And then another one was that he also wasn't hitting the inner city schools because we know there's a lot of talent in those schools as well. So yeah, he did get kind of laxed on that. Well, let's just say it, lazy. Bob says, I just think that Coach F needs his players and staff to know that they can come to him with problems, but he needs to bust their humps when playing this undisciplined. I agree. Like I said, there needs to be that balance. I mean, he even said, in the Hangover parody that they did for the Shamrock Series game, when he was with Isaiah Foskey and Michael Mayer, at the end they start, going, we're the three best friends in the whole wide world. And he says, whoa, 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 I'm not your friend. I'm your head coach. That's the approach that he needs to take. And I'm sure he's been doing that. Don't get me wrong. Freeman definitely better than Kelly in my eyes. Personality-wise, yes, but he needs to show it on the field too. I mean, we can sit here and hate on Kelly all that we want to, but his team did get it done on the field as far as winning games goes. Now, yeah, you could say to me, oh, well, we didn't get over the big hump. Yes, that's true, but they were at least winning 10+ games a year and getting to the playoffs and NY6 bowl games. Which, despite that being the case, I would take that any day over the 15 years of Davey, Willingham, and Weiss. I don't doubt Harry H. at all, but maybe it just takes longer to get rid of bad habits from last year. It's possible. You can't rule that out. I agree, Golden Playbook. Oh, you're talking to the guy named Golden Playbook. I thought you were talking about Al Golden there for a sec. Charles Freshman, where's the running game? We've been asking that same question all night through the stream and all week, actually, all season, to be honest. It's the O-line not opening the holes. And it's sad too, because we got three really solid running backs on this team that could do some serious damage if they had their the running lanes open. Golden Playbook. Freeman is better than he's better than Kelly in terms of recruiting and pushing his players to limit in practice. Freeman is good at preparing them. Yeah, so far. Well, it's hard to see that now because we've lost. We're 0-2, and I hate saying it, man, but we just haven't been. He hasn't shown that a lot. I mean, I'll say this: Ohio State was a defensive masterpiece. Offensively, it wasn't. But last week against Marshall, it was just we were getting pushed around in every aspect of the game except punting. But I'm not saying Golden Playbook. I'm not saying that isn't true. I mean, he's got this energy and this aura around him that you can feel that energy and that there's something different. But it has to start showing on the field. But I agree. He definitely has the ability to motivate the players better. I agree. It just has to show on the field. Quick timeout here for a second. Hey guys, don't forget about something. So we are I was just looking on our main page. We are at 474 subscribers right now, and probably a lot of those are due to this live stream right now, which we just want to do something special, and make this for subscribers only, those of you who have been loyal to us. And I know that there's a couple that probably subscribe just to leave stupid comments, and who knows, maybe some of you new guys that I haven't seen, you'll probably unsubscribe after this, but we hope you don't. But Ben and I and some of you probably heard us say this, some of you probably haven't, but Ben and I's next goal on this channel is 500 subscribers. And if you guys help us make that happen, we're going to be doing a little prize giveaway, or a little, not a contest, but we're going to be doing like a drawing to give away some prizes to you guys, the viewers, because a lot of you have been with us from day one, and we're going to give back to you guys. Let's see, where was that last comment that I missed? Where was it? I hate it when I lose comments. Oh, here it is. Notre Dame 2164. You've been around for a while, and like I said, all you guys that have been supporting this channel and being with us from 2 years ago in 2020 when we first started, January of 2020. That's going to be our way of thanking you guys, is doing a little prize giveaway. So we'll have more details once we get to that plateau. Not sure if this has been mentioned yet, but Chris Tyree has got. Yes, it has been. It has. We've talked about this earlier, but I'll finish reading your comment anyway. Not sure if this has been mentioned yet, but Chris Tyree has got to be featured more in this offense, especially if the line isn't blocking. He can take a small crease, make a cut, and do some damage. Yes, absolutely. We have been talking about that all stream. The fact that he only has like 14 touches in 2 games is just, it's messed up. As fast as he is, and like you said, Notre Dame 2164, with the kind of cuts that he can make and the moves that he has, you got to give him the ball more. Golden Playbook, we have to get better. I blame Tommy for most of this, and Harry is the problem as well. So you either think about changing stuff up or get fired, or if they're not doing their job, right, fire them. Yeah, I agree. Tommy especially is down to his last chance. I wouldn't jump on Harry just yet because he can rebound for sure. because we've seen his kind of work in the past. But no, Tommy Rees is definitely on the hot seat, and he should be. And this is something that actually Ben gets credit for, because he said this. He said it before I even thought of it. This is why you can't just hire your friends. And what I mean by that is, just because Tommy was a quarterback at Notre Dame, that doesn't mean that he should just get a job. Because obviously he hasn't been doing it well. I mean, for the first 2 years he was at a standstill. Now it's dropping. So there's got to come a time where you say, okay, we know that you played quarterback here, you have a connection to the university, but you're not doing your job, so you have to go. I'm sorry. Good luck in your future endeavors. But he's definitely on his last chance. Bob says, the reason I said earlier the Irish get quarterback under center and run from the I formation is the defense is now uncertain whether it will be run or pass instead of shotgun, where DC's plays easier. That's a good point. That's a very good point. A lot of the times you line up in shotgun, it's likely going to be a pass, and it's easier to read. Notre Dame 2164. We appreciate what you guys do. Thank you. No, really, it's us that should be thanking you guys, and we do thank you, because for you guys who've been subbed us all this time, we don't have an audience. Then what's the point of doing this show, or even having this channel to begin with? What's your personal thoughts on Drew Pine? Do you think he's good, or do you think they should go with Angeli over him? No, I think you go with Drew Pine. Because like I said at the start of the stream, well, at least close to the start of the stream, he's the one with experience. He has seen some game action, and Jelly hasn't. Plus, Drew Pine has been here for a few years, so he knows the playbook. So, he can do a little with his legs. But no, of course, Drew Pine has his issues. I mean, he's shorter than what most quarterbacks are. But then again, they said the same thing about Doug Flutie, and Doug Flutie had some success in his professional career. So maybe that's a bad example. I don't know. But no, you go with the experience first. And like I said earlier, if you put Pine in and things still go to crap, then hell, give Angeli some reps. Only if it comes to that. ND2164 says, I would give Harry a lot longer than Tommy, because Harry has an impressive proven track record. I agree. Tony says, was the worst or most embarrassing loss for Notre Dame 2009 versus UConn, 2010 versus Tulsa, or 2011 versus South Florida, or Navy in 2016? Oh, geez. I don't know if you can limit it to just one. They were all embarrassing. I kind of think Marshall almost takes the cake, because when you look at all those games, 2009 versus Connecticut, that was near the end of the season. Tulsa, same thing. South Florida, the start of the season. 2016 versus Navy, that whole season was embarrassing. I mean, we were 4-8. Honestly, I think this past weekend takes the cake, because we were still ranked number 8, a top 10 team, and we lose to Marshall. Now, I've had some, of course, we've had some Marshall fans get on our case this past week, or all this week, I should say, excuse me. But I think it was mostly for me, because I went on the rant in the recap, and they didn't like that too well. But I was just stating facts. I don't hate Marshall. I don't have anything against them. And I'm not saying that they don't produce any talent, but it's just a fact. Any top FBS school should have no problem beating a team like Marshall that's in the Sun Belt, a group of 6 conference, that their only history for winning national titles and whatnot came in the FCS. So I rest my case. So yeah, there's no way that you let that happen. So I would say this past weekend was the most embarrassing over all those other games. But I will say this though, 2010 against Tulsa, that was just stupid. I mean, I don't know what Brian Kelly was thinking by having Tommy Reese throw the ball in that situation, but you're already set up for a field goal attempt to win the game, and that's what you do. I mean, somebody was either on something or they weren't. They just had a major brain fart. I think Tommy definitely will be in trouble if they lose to Cal, and Harry can definitely change stuff. I trust him. Yeah, Tommy's definitely in trouble if we lose to Cal. Bob says Pye needs legs just to roll away from pressure, but he needs to move before pocket collapses. Yes, I agree. I mean, because Drew has shown some flashes that he can be a solid quarterback. ND2164 says Pye needs to learn to put some touch on the short passes. I noticed last year that there were a few drop passes due to Pine throwing a 7-yard pass as hard as he possibly could. Yeah, you don't need to do that. You don't need to freaking do that. Just relax. Throw the ball quick, but don't throw it hard. Tony says, I agree. Definitely most embarrassing. Where was it? Yeah, Marshall got mad when I called them a high school team. LOL, just upset ranting. Well, like I said, I mean, those small schools produce good talent. I'm not saying that they don't, but it's just some of the things that I've heard Marshall fans say in response to us. They'll never admit it, but it's true. You don't. I mean, yeah, nobody expects it, but you should be when you're a top program and you're ranked number 8th in the country. You should be taking care of business. There's no excuse not to. But I'm sorry. Okay, Marshall, yeah, they beat us, but let's see what they do the rest of the season. Let's see you think they'll get to an NY6 bowl? You think they'll win a national championship? I seriously doubt it. It's like have your fun against us. You're not gonna win a national championship. You're not gonna make the playoffs. So they can have their fun with us, but yeah. JB5 Go Irish. It's been a long time, dude. 2008 Syracuse was worse than any of the losses listed by Tony. All those other opponents were at least halfway competent, even if they were still damaging losses. Yeah, Syracuse in 08 was pretty bad. I'd forgotten about that one. But aside from the South Florida game in 2011, which was at the start of the season, the rest were all at the point in the season where the season was already lost as far as, national championship chances or major bowl chances. That's, yeah. I still say this one takes the cake of most embarrassing. Golden Playbook says, I remember that Tulsa game when Brian Kelly didn't go. I know, I was just talking about it. It's like, why are you passing in that situation? Just run the clock down and kick the field goal. You win the game. Bob says there was a reason Kelly recruited Pine, and wasn't he a 4-star? I think he was a 3 actually, but he might have been a 4th. I guess it depends what ranking you look at. Charles Freshman says, I think Notre Dame always choke. Yeah, I think you meant choke. Chokes at their home games. It is just the pressure of playing at the stadium and in front of the fans. No, we've had a pretty good track record of winning at home. Well, except for the 2016 season. I think in this particular game this past weekend, I think there might have been some pressure just because of, Everybody's saying that, we didn't, you listen to Paul Feinbaum saying, we didn't deserve our ranking, and everybody in the fan base, from that cancerous element that I always talk about, you got them turning their backs on the team, and maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know, but I think what happened this past weekend is we came in too relaxed. I think we came in thinking like, okay, we just took Ohio State right down to the wire, and we played them better than people thought we would. So I think the team figured, okay, we can just come into this game super relaxed and overlook Marshall because we're just going to beat the crap out of them, and that came back to hurt us. That's what I think. Just a little theory. If it holds water, I don't know. Hey, Walter. Walter says, I know if Randy Moss didn't get in trouble, he would have been an Irish legend. Possible. It's very possible. Bob says, worst losses were those when they lost to Air Force in the 70s and 80s. Yeah. With all those teams that Notre Dame had back then, they shouldn't have lost to a team like that. Damien says, I think Pine will settle in well and we will get back on track. Freeman and company will have the team ready to roll, go Irish. I sure hope so. He has to. Because I mean, look, despite what's happened through 2 games, I really don't want this to be a rebuilding year. I would love to see us just rally and go 10-2, and we still have a chance to do that. And until that doesn't happen, hey, we have a chance. And some of you probably think I'm freaking batshit crazy for saying that, but I'm just a fan. No, Walter, I don't do fantasy football, at least not this year. Notre Dame 2164 says, I have nothing against Marshall, but they shouldn't be in the same stratosphere as Notre Dame. That's why it was such a gut punch. Exactly. That's my point. And of course, and look, I get it. Fans of the team, they're going to defend their team all the way. Of course, what fan wouldn't? If you love your team, you're going to defend them. But at the same time, I was telling the truth in my rant in the recap. But they thought I was disrespecting them. No, I have nothing against Marshall. I wasn't trying to disrespect them. I'm comparing my team, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, amongst their peers, and what should have happened. Hey, Cold as Brian, what's up, dude? I thought the stream was tomorrow. Got my days mixed up. No, it's all right, man. It's all right. Tony says, totally agree. Too relaxed already, thinking they would automatically win. And like I said, that's just a theory. I mean, I can't say that's true or that it holds water, but it's very possible that could have been the case. Golden Playbook says, I wonder why we choke in bowl games. It's a problem that needs to be fixed, that has to change if we're going to win a national championship. They can't be doing that. That ain't going to get you nowhere. I agree. I absolutely agree. And it's not like I'm one of those fans that just settles for getting there. It's just my point is, whenever I've said that, it's just we've got so many fans in this fan base, the cancerous element. I mean, I cannot tell you. Let me put it to you guys this way. In the past 2 years, I have never heard the word realists more in my life than I have these past 2 years. No, I'm a realist. I'm a realist. Look, when you say that you're a realist, all you're saying is that you have no faith in this team, you're a fair weather fan, and you're just a piece of crap. Because it's like, how can you call yourself a fan and not back your team all the way? And I say that to any fan of any fan base. But the stuff that I've seen these past few years out of this cancerous element of the Notre Dame fan base is stuff that you would not see anywhere else. I mean, and I'm going to say, you guys might be getting sick and tired of me saying this, but I'm going to say it until I see otherwise. I've never seen any other major program sell their tickets and make their stadium a home game for the away team. I've never seen other teams complain about actually making the playoffs. I've never seen, well, I guess I can't say this. I mean, there have been fans of other teams that do write off their team before a game is even played. But George pointed out to me that there was an article taken out in the South Bend Tribune of all these Notre Dame fans calling the program a disgrace, and this was during the 2016 season. But no, all these fans who it's like these realists. It's almost like they hope that we lose just so they can be right. I mean, Ben and I just had one message us on our Facebook page, the Two Irish Brothers Facebook page, and it's like, man, you're really that kind of a fan that you want them to lose just so you can be right. I mean, that's just full-blown narcissism right there as far as I'm concerned. Let's see. I'm falling behind on your guys' comments. Sorry. Cold as Brian says, Buckner was low-key pretty bad. He had Meyer wide open on the pick six. Hardly living up to his 5-star billing. Yeah, I know. It's not been good. Bob says, you're right, Sean. Irish read their press clips from Ohio State. Minimum effort. They thought all that was needed. Yeah. Oh, hello here. Please, is that a joke name? Barry McCockiner? We should have lost to Toledo last year and still went on to have a great year and win 11 games. I think we'll be okay. Yeah. Look, if it's close and we win, all I care about is the win. I'm not going to stress on that. These dark days only going to make it that much sweeter. I hope so. Walter says, people were telling me to calm down, yet they don't understand how embarrassing it is for a top 10 team to lose to Marshall. It's not like Marshall still had Randy Moss. I know. That's the point. And I had some fans there telling me like, well, we got some 4- and 5-star recruits through the transfer portal. And it's like, okay, I'm sure you probably did. I guess if you want to scold Ben and I for not doing our quote research on that, fine, go ahead. Let us have it all you want. But here's a good question to ask about that. Those 4- and 5-star recruits, why didn't they come to you in the first place? Golden Playbook says it doesn't make any sense that they make it to a bowl game last year and they blew a 28-7 lead. That doesn't make any sense to me. You get to that bowl game and you blow it. It don't want to play hard. I know that was so bad, dude. Really bad. I just, it's like you have a 21-point lead. And how do you let that slip away? I mean, I get that Oklahoma is always known for having a high-powered offense, but come on, you were keeping them in check for the majority of that first half, and what happened? Our buddy George Bashura had an interesting theory to that as well. He was thinking that maybe Mike Gundy was playing possum. What do you guys think about that? Brian says you can be a realist but still want your team to win every game. I know. Exactly. If you want to focus on the dark that could possibly happen, fine. But you don't just say that your team's going to lose. You still have faith in them to try and win the game. I mean, these people, this cancerous element that I'm talking about, if any of you have seen the movie Major League 2, they're just like Randy Quaid's character. Pull out the tarp, turn this place into a parking lot. So what? They'll blow it in the playoffs. They will. They'll blow it in the playoffs. ND2164 says, I can't believe how many ND fans are abandoning ship after last week. I know it's hard right now, but ND is a part of who I am. I can't just abandon something that means as much to me as ND does. Yes, if they're your team, you stick with them through good and bad. Charles says, hey, didn't Marshall have 5 FSU transfers? I don't know. I didn't see that. And if Ben and I should have seen it, I'm sorry. We screwed up. But that's what I was talking about with if Marshall had all these 5-star and 4-star recruits from the that they got through the transfer portal. I don't know. I didn't know that. I can't believe how many people defend fans who sell home game tickets to the opposing team's fans. Yeah, I know. Bob says, I'll be signing off for now, Sean. You have a good night, and as always, go Irish. Bob, thank you for joining us tonight. It's always a blast to talk to you, dude. Real fans don't betray their team. They hang with the team all the way, even if they're 0-2. That doesn't mean I'm going to crap on them. I'm going to hang with them in the future. I'm going to hang with them. The future is bright. I believe they're my team. Of course. Hey, it's okay. Let me tell you something. It's okay to be pissed off. Obviously, those of you who saw the recap from Marshall, that's what I was. I was pissed off. But never once did I say that I was gonna quit on them or just leave them. No. That's my team. If Endy would quit bleeping around, I would have chewed Endy out so hard in that first half. I probably would too. I hope Marcus did. Serious question. What did Tommy Rees do to get so much praise and respect from NFL types? I have no freaking clue. That was a pretty good Randy Quaid impression. I don't know. I tried. Sean McVay, one of the best coaches in the NFL, offensive genius, wanted to hire Rees as his OC, and I just don't understand. The only thing I can think of is maybe his game plan could transfer over better to pro guys. I don't know. But no, right now I'm not seeing it at the college level for sure. But yeah, no, something I wanted to address in Walter's comment about the fans giving away their tickets. I've heard since that Georgia game in 2017, when half that stadium was red, there's no excuse for that. And I've heard some doozies when it comes to excuses. People saying, "Oh, well, maybe they just sold their ticket because they need to buy groceries or pay their rent." Okay, bullshit number one. If you had a ticket to that game, you're not struggling financially. Another one I heard, the fans are telling the team that the team needs to prove something to them. Bullshit number two. If you love that team, you go there and support them. They don't need to prove anything to you. Okay, a team will have good years, a team has bad years. That's football. If you love your team, you go and support them. What was another stupid excuse that I heard? Well, it was a once in a lifetime trip for Georgia fans, so that's why we sold their tickets. No, bullshit number three. No, it's when a big game comes to town, it's your job as fans to go support your team and make that stadium as loud as you possibly can. So it was a once in a lifetime trip for them. Okay, what about in 2019 when we went down to Athens for the second game of that 2-game series? Do you think they made it was a once in a lifetime trip for us? Do you think they sold their tickets? Hell no. Hell no. And I'm sure it was the same for them. I'm sure they got some really amazing offers. They've got some really major offers. I'm sure of it. They didn't sell their tickets. You only saw blue, gold, and green in the away section where they give like 5,000 tickets to the away team. Let's just face it. I mean, the ones that sold their tickets, they're just greedy. It was all about money. And I'll tell you guys this. I have a cousin who's like that. He buys Notre Dame season tickets every year just so he can sell them. And that's a problem in our fan base. I mean, we have more people that are worried about making money off their tickets and worried about the bets they make than they are supporting the team, alumni or non-alum. Let's see. Tony said earlier, I was really surprised that Mayer only got 5 catches. Yeah, he's actually gotten the most of all our receivers through 2 games. Walter said games like the Fiesta Bowl or Marshall, let's just say the players should be happy. I wasn't they probably, no, I didn't read. This is a new one. They probably would be wearing the opposing team shirts in class as punishment. That might get something over. Who knows? Might get a message across. Golden Playbook says people bash us because we get to play anyone we want to, and that we're not in a conference. And I'm saying to myself, we handle our business different, and a lot of this is from Michigan fans. I've said this a long time. I don't know why people are so desperate to get us in the conference. You'd think they want to keep us out of the conference. I mean, I get why they want us in because of revenue, but as a fan, I'm talking about, because that opens up some recruiting paths for us that we probably didn't have available to us. Or one guy actually said we should join a conference as a form of punishment. Well, all by saying that, all you're saying is you wish your team wasn't in a conference. Am I actively rooting against LSU, or are you actually mature, unlike me? Honestly, I don't give a shit about LSU. I mean, I don't care. Kelly's there, so what? I'm over it. Oops, what I mean for the Ohio State. I gotcha. Golden Playbook says we don't need to join a conference. When we did join a conference, people were still complaining about that, like it wasn't good enough for them. I know. People are always going to complain no matter what. Brian says the biggest reason I think the UGA takeover happened was that we were coming off the 4-8 season 2, and UGA wasn't the program they are now. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. I mean, look, I've seen this happen twice. 2000 against Nebraska, we were coming off a 5-7 year, and that stadium was half red. We sold our tickets. Same thing with, like you said, same thing with Georgia and 4-8. Well, it doesn't matter what kind of season you're coming off of. Like I said, and I'll stand by that. If you love this team, then you go and support them. And let's face it, a lot of the fans knew this was a big game and they'd get big money for it. So it was freaking greed. And listen, not getting political here or anything, but capitalism, I'm fine with. But at the same time, you can choose your customer. If you're going to sell your ticket, why can't you at least sell to another Notre Dame fan who wants to go and has the same offer? I mean, it's just, we're supposed to be one of the grandest college football programs of all time, and that's what we do. I mean, you're not going to see that anywhere with any other major program, but for some reason it happens with us. I mean, you know, Nebraska right now, they're a big powerhouse, even though they're not playing like it, but they're still a recognizable name. You never see that happening in Lincoln, in their stadium, because those people love their teams. Tony says, had fun, everyone. I got to start my second job at home now. Talk to you later. Go Irish. Tony, thank you for coming, man. Yes, I didn't. Thank you. At least sell to Notre Dame people. Sheesh. Cold as Brian. Good point. Alabama wasn't good either, like they are now. Yeah, things were different. I met Michael Mayer at my work. He's a really nice dude. I hope any Irish fan meets him. Yeah, he looks like a good dude. How long do you think Drew Pine's leash is? I think Stephen Jelly looking good in the spring game. Wouldn't mind seeing him if Pine struggled. I don't know. I think you give Pine, I think, at least 3 games, at the very least, maybe longer. I personally think Notre Dame has nothing to lose if they join the Big Ten. The conference championship is in their backyard. Yeah, that's true. Like I've said before, Ben and I both would not complain if Notre Dame joins a conference. We're still going to cheer for them on the field regardless. I mean, the independent factor is just a cool thing to be able to make a unique schedule. And, you know, people think that our schedules have been weak. They obviously don't do their research and see exactly how tough the schedule's been. I mean, you got three top 10 opponents on this year's schedule, along with some others that have cracked the top 10 or the top 25. I'm sorry. And trap games galore. But anyway, Walter says that stadium with Georgia and Nebraska wasn't half red. It was way more than half red. Yeah. And that's a problem. And the only reason I keep bringing this up in various at various times in videos is because this is a true, legit problem, and nobody else is talking about it. No other show on YouTube is really talking about it, whether it's the big shows that, you know, like are sponsored by websites or even regular YouTubers. Ben and I are the only ones who are talking about this problem, and it's like nobody else can see it. But it's a problem. How our fan base has been acting as of recently, the selling our tickets and all that stuff. Nobody is talking about it, and I think they should, because it's a problem. Notre Dame 2164 says, got to turn in for the night. Great show, brother. Everyone hit the button like you did before you leave. Hey, ND 2164, thank you, dude. Thank you for being a supporter of the show, and you have yourself a good night. And yes, if you guys like the show, you new names that I'm seeing here, if you like the show, please hit that subscribe tab. All right. Well, I should say, please stay subscribed after you leave the show tonight. But if you don't like our content, then we can't make you stay, obviously, but we would appreciate it if you did. And we hope that Ben and I always hope that we give you guys a good show, and I'd like to think that we're pretty reasonable when it comes to different things. Barry asks, what's an away game you'd like to see Notre Dame play? I'd love to see a game at Penn State or in Morgantown at West Virginia. Well, I've already seen them play at Penn State. I mean, they did in 2007. No, I'd love to see Morgantown's happen too in my lifetime, believe it or not, in 2000. But yeah, I'd like to see them go back to Morgantown. Oh, geez. What's one that I'd like to see? I think playing Florida at the Swamp could be an interesting one. Because I was going to name off all these different teams, but I realized the teams that I was going to name off, I've seen them play there on the road. One thing, this is for personal reasons. I'd love to see them play at Iowa and Iowa City at Kinnick. Only because I grew up in an area that's loaded with Iowa fans, and a couple of them really pissed me off, and I couldn't stand. So, yeah, I'd like to see them go into Kinnick and smack the shit out of the Hawkeyes. Golden Playbook says, Michigan sucks, by the way. That fan base is probably the worst. I hate them with a passion because I'm a Notre Dame fan, and they pissed on Newt Rockney's grave. That's just childish. Michigan is trash. Yeah, I've definitely seen the bad elements, too. My uncle, he's went to a couple games up in Ann Arbor, and you know, you shouldn't sell your tickets, but I at least believe in being friendly. You know, you go to Notre Dame, people say, "Oh, welcome to Notre Dame," if you're an opposing fan. But you go to Michigan, he went there and they were throwing freaking beer bottles at him. Well, actually, no, I think they were cans, but it wouldn't surprise me if they were bottles. Brian says, I'm really looking forward to Notre Dame at Florida and at Texas A&M. Texas A&M I have seen. Because they had a home and home in 2000 and 2001 with A&M, and Florida, yeah, that's coming up. Yeah. No, actually, I covered this earlier, Charles. McKnight safety, Laybourne running back, Robinson wide receiver, all from FSU. Laybourne had led the team with 163 rushing yards. Okay, thanks for filling me in on the transfers. And I actually touched that earlier when I said we gave up 200 plus yards to their running back core, and that was bad. Ugh. I'll get to your comments, guys, but I'm probably going to be signing off here pretty soon. Golden Playbook. I want Ohio State to end Michigan's playoff run this season. That's how bad I hate Michigan. Yeah. I hit the like button. Yeah, thanks, bud. We appreciate it. And also, like I said, you guys already hit the subscribe tab to be in here. Well, those of you who weren't. Those of you who who were already subbed already. But all of you who are new here, Hopefully you hit the subscribe tab and you stay. We'd love to have you. Notre Dame got me feeling like bad Santa on the alarm clock. Yeah. JB5 Guire says at Barry, huge road games I'd love to see would be in the Swamp. At Wisconsin, that's the one I forgot too. I've been to a game at Camp Randall. It was Wisconsin against Indiana some years ago, and that was a lot of fun. And at either of Alabama or Auburn, yeah, I'd love to see that too. Charles says App State from the Sun Belt beat Texas A&M. Yeah, they did. That was crazy. That's why I wouldn't go to Ann Arbor. Their fans are assholes. Yes, I agree. One time I was at Yankee Stadium and these two Yankee fans flipped off a Red Sox fan and said, "Fuck you. Fuck you fuckers," I'm guessing. I asked if they knew him and they said no, but they would expect the same at Fenway. Well, that rivalry is just crazy. We all know that. I mean, this is Yankees and the Red Sox. I mean, what more needs to be said? I want to pull piles of shit, or I want to put piles of shit on Michigan statues. I hate them so bad the fans act like we have never beat them before. The only thing Michigan has on us is they lead the series. But people also forget too, there was like a 40-year period or whatever it was where we didn't play. Just subbed, first time Toomer here. Oh, my welcome aboard. Okay, whatever. I don't give a shit. He's had plenty to say himself, and the funny thing is, why would he even care? But just, I'm not going to talk about that. I knew what you meant, Cooney. Thomas Cooney, I knew what you meant to say. Oh, and what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do, Stan? But look, I'm not gonna talk about it, but he's not gonna do shit. What's he gonna do? Sit on his couch and talk? Good for him. He can't face me like a man anyway. Oh, these idiots. Look, guys, what these people are referring to is, I don't know if you guys even know about this, but there's, the long and the short of it is, there's an asshole on here who just got arrested, and it's been the talk of the community, of the YouTube college football community. Fred Benson, what's up, dude? Actually, I better read Thomas's comment first. You see that Freeman is giving the press weekly access to coordinators. Yeah, I did see that. But it's not the first time though. I mean, I've seen coordinators under Kelly talk too. I've seen them talk to the press. I mean, Fred says, do you remember ND 31 Michigan 0 from 2014 and ND 49 USC 14 from? Oh, of course I do. Of course I do. The only problem is I just wish. What was it? I think it was 2019 against Michigan. I'd prefer to forget that. Kelly only gave access pre and postseason to coordinators. Okay, I guess I didn't realize that. Hitting the bottle while behind the wheel, Walter. Well, I guess he didn't have anything with him. He was under the influence, though. But I don't want to talk about that, guys. Let's not ruin a good thing we have going here. Let's talk about some good things. And besides, this is the 2 hour. If this was my personal channel, it'd be different, but no, there's other people involved besides me here on this channel, and Ben and George. and even though it's been a while, Lisa, they don't need to be a part of that. That stuff is all my problem. Well, not problem, but the what I mean is the beef and all that. Yeah, nobody else should be involved with something that is mine. That is something that isn't good. Hope we see improvements on the field Saturday. I really hope they make those adjustments. Can't have this. No, there's got to be adjustments, and we can't have the same thing keep going on and on, or else we're screwed. Not too much, though. Only certain circumstances when Kelly wants to throw them. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's very true. 2014 was 30. Yeah, that touchdown at the end got called back, unfortunately. But yeah, it should have been 37-0 or 37-0. Okay, we're talking Notre Dame football here, Walter. I have yet to wear my gold, but I'll read it. Like, okay, I guess this is related. I have yet to wear my gold skate helmet at the skate park. I feel like an idiot to not do it. Well, tomorrow's always another day. He needs to, Golden Playbook. He needs to get his staff together, and he needs to hold everybody, his assistant coaches and the players accountable. That's what it all boils down to, is accountability. So yeah, I think I'll go for 5 more minutes here, and then we'll call it quits for the night. Because I still have to have a couple things to do, and then I got to hit the hay because I got to be up at. I don't know if you guys knew this at all, but I got to be up at 5 a.m. for work. So, unfortunately, doing this is not my job. But you know what? Even if it never becomes my job, I'm still happy, and Ben is still happy to do this. Interacting with other Irish fans online is fun, and honestly, I mean, really. Myself personally, I wouldn't have a lot of the friends that I do if it wasn't for stumbling onto YouTube one day. And hell, Ben I met through YouTube. A lot of good people I met through YouTube. So putting up with all the crap has been worth it. And I don't know if you guys ever knew the story, but Ben and I had been friends before because we've been talking on the phone and whatnot. But the first time that Ben and I met in person, it was for his wedding when I was a groomsman, which was pretty cool. I mean, he hadn't met me in person yet, and he invited me to be a groomsman in his wedding, which that I was really touched that he thought that much of me to do that and hadn't even met me in person yet. So yeah. Yeah, he's an awesome dude. He's a really awesome dude. Time flies fast, doesn't it? And I know that way too well. When I first started doing YouTube with my personal channel, that was freaking 2009. And let's see. I was 23 years old. Whatever happened to Irish Jerry from the 2013 BCS Championship video? I'm still in contact with him. He just really doesn't do YouTube anymore. But I'm going over to Ireland next year to see him for when Notre Dame plays Navy. But no, he's still around and kicking. I personally think that if Drew Pine is going to scramble, he needs to learn to slide, or it's going to be bad on him. He's going to get injured like Buckner. Then we'll have another problem on our hands. Bad luck. Yeah. Just joining. What do you think about Angeli maybe getting some reps? I wouldn't be against it. But the only time I want to see it happen is if we're in a position where we're up by like 30 points and there's like 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter or something like that. But no, I mean, you got to get him some reps. in practice and some time on the field. But no, for the most part, you give the majority of the reps to Drew Pine, but that's obvious right now. But in the prior comment, the most important thing is making sure he stays healthy, and that's where the O-line comes in and protecting him. We've thought about it. We've thought about going to a Cub Cardinal game. Yeah, because Ben actually lived in the St. Louis area for a while. Yeah, so these last few minutes are all you guys. I'll just let you ask questions and whatnot. Yeah, that was a true rebuilding year. I mean, we had lost a lot from the 2006 team. I mean, but even coming into that season, I still had confidence that we could surprise people and do well, but no, we were just too far down. Hey, Golden Playbook, you and I are on the same page. I don't see how. We've had a lot of good talent since then. I mean, since 2017, we've won 10 plus games in each of those years, which has never happened before. But you got to remember, every year, football is that kind of game. Every year is different from one another. You know, on a year, you think a team's going to do well. When you think a team's going to do bad, they do well, and vice versa. Damn, you're still putting in work. Well, want to make it count. Even though our record doesn't indicate that. Results oriented. I guess if you want to see it that way, but I mean, things only look bad now because we're transitioning between head coaches. And I'm not saying that's the only problem, but yesterday's presser, I haven't seen the presser yet, but yesterday's presser, he basically said we look at results and think we're not far behind Bama and OSU. Well, obviously we need to we have a lot of work to do without question. This isn't the start that we wanted. As a Colts fan, since they tied with the Texans, I personally think something needs to change with overtime rate. Okay, maybe. Yeah, I'll try to get to it. Yeah, just get a Band-Aid on what's currently going down. Just get in the win column. That, baby steps. But no, if we were to go 0-3, then you have to fire somebody. And no, not the head coach. Yeah, I guess I like that. You've got Driscoll work ethic, bro. Well, if you're going to go live, you make it count. So, yeah, a couple more comments. I'm probably going to cash in for the night. Oh, I think we all know. I think we're all on the same page when it comes to that. Well, I can't be bowl eligible. I'm only one person. Badum Ching. No, I'm confident they'll at the very least be bowl eligible. It's someone I would have never hired way back in 2017. Yeah, I know. We all did, dude. We all did. If this was 2007, would you see fans be like, leave Marcus Freeman alone? What is that? Are you referring to that leave Brittany alone video? Well, you know, there is the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Yeah. You're an idiot. Typical haters. You know, that did used to be a bowl game. I am in Illinois. Nope, the Quad Cities. Moline, Illinois. You're not going to stalk me, are you? Try and kill me? Nope, I live in Moline, Illinois, which is right next to the Iowa border. You know, believe it or not, Walter, I think I did see that video that you're talking about, but I don't think it was leave Notre Dame alone. I think it was leave Charlie Weiss alone. I will say this: Bob Davie, since you guys are talking about him, he did pretty well as a defensive coordinator, but obviously not so good as a head coach. But that doesn't mean that defensive coordinators can't be good head coaches. I know, Golden. I was just messing with you. OMG, Bob Davie brings back memories. Not good ones. Bob Davie's special teams were pretty good from what I remember. They were, yeah. I don't know. What do you think, guys? Block this guy or let him talk? Let's do a little poll here. EJP 123 smartass, let him talk or block him. It's up to you guys. Notre Dame can't compete with the other colleges in recruiting. ND still has the highest standards. of acceptance to its university. Well, let me ask you that question. What exactly is wrong with that? I mean, there are some kids that can ball out and can be that are good academically as well. I hope he does. Okay, there's one vote for block. One vote for let him talk. Well, he has it in his picture. Yeah, it's in his picture. I don't know. I guess I've grown kind of numb to trolls. You know, you do YouTube since 2009. Yeah. They're only funny for so long. Thomas says Michigan has high standards. A lot of schools have high standards. I almost feel like that's a cop out. I know in the 70s and 80s they were strict, but gave Lou some leeway. Well, yeah, that's true. Lou did get some leeway. That part is true. But yeah, but like you said, there's a lot of schools that have high standards too, and they still win in recruiting. They still play, or these kids still play well, and they win. Oh, I gotcha. But no, yeah, for the most part, that really is a cop out. And besides, you know, here's another part of that. What does that say about the when you say that you want a school to lower its academic standards? What does that say about those kids that you're trying to get, but you feel that you can't? You'll go basically. What I'm saying is this: go tell those kids that you're too stupid to go here. You know, how do you think they'll feel about that? All right, yeah, a couple more comments, and then I'm out of here for the night. Yep, it spoils it. Oh, geez. Like I said, if we end up having to join a conference, I could care less either way. I mean, I'm not going to be out there, like with a protest sign and saying, "Hey, Notre Dame, join a conference," blah blah blah. I'm not going to do that. But if we joined, I'm not going to complain about it. But all this obsession with get us in a conference, just let it go. We're not in one for the time being, so just let it freaking go. Who cares? What's up, dude? Notre Dame is loaded with mostly 4-star players. There's no way in hell a team like Notre Dame should be losing to the Marshall squad. By the way, how you doing, Sean? Pretty good. I can't complain. How are you, man? He's a good friend of mine. It would feel like Dwayne Jarrett did since ND kind of took his scholarship because he couldn't make the grades. And when he went to USC, he made ND pay for that dearly. Well, then you make your grades. What more can I say? Yeah, look at Penn State, Nebraska, many others after joining. I mean, I guess Penn State's had some good years, but Nebraska, they've been falling apart. That's why I love Irish tradition. programs tank after leaving independence. And I mean, we had a lot of teams that were independent for the longest time, not just Notre Dame. Miami was an independent. Penn State was an independent. So many big programs were independents. Hell, you look at Miami. Since they joined the ACC and from the Big East, in all their time there, they have not won the Big East Conference. Now that might change with the new format for since you're able to get rid of divisions. That might change because the NCAA just ruled that conferences no longer have to have divisions, and the ACC is going to I guess somewhat of a pod system. 3-5-5 is what they call it. So yeah, you have 3 teams that you play every year, and then you'll play 5 one year and then the other 5 the next, or something like that. Sounds like my cat wants to get in. Yeah, with the exception of 2015 versus FSU, or 2013, you meant. I mean, I'd like them to stay Indy too, but there could come a time where they might have to. Honestly, I want to, but so far, he hasn't attacked anything. He hasn't attacked me personally. Yeah. I mean, trolls get annoying, but the only way that I block people is if you go personal with me and attack me personally, or if you go like way too outrageous with the, with the comments. We know the SEC won't force our hand in joining because they'll force us into the Big Ten. I mean, it could happen. Oh, here's one I missed. Too bad the 12-team playoff has neutral sites. I dare someone these schools down south to come to South Bend in January. Did they officially announce that all these games are going to be neutral sites? Because I didn't think that was official yet. Well, EJP, that's exactly what I said. I didn't say you were attacking me personally. Well, you know what? Usually I would say we never have, but that's changing next year. We're playing Tennessee State. Like, I think Navy and Ireland is the first game, but then we gave in and scheduled Tennessee State. I hate that shit. I wish we didn't do that. Hang on one sec, guys. Just had a text come in. I wish they wouldn't have done that, because I hate it when you play some cupcake, some FCS cupcake, like first or second game in. And look, I get why they're doing it, because Tennessee State, and this is not a political statement. I think Notre Dame's even said why themselves, because it's a historically black college or university. Zero problem with that. Zero problem. But it's just, people already call our schedule weak already. You're not helping the cause. And it doesn't help the case either when you're trying to get to the playoffs. Okay, they haven't announced it yet, but I assume they will be a neutral. I don't know. See, I would love to see those first round games be played at the team stadiums. And then when you get to the Final Four, you could still do the format that it is now and have 2 NY6 games be the semifinals. But no, first and second rounds, you should play those at the team stadium. I'd actually be excited for them to join a conference because if they get into the championship game, that's one extra game we get to see our Irish play. I'm all for it. Well, of course, as many games as they can play it, I'm fine with that. Thomas says they may call it weak, but it's constantly a top 15 strength of schedule. Well, tell that to the morons who don't do their research. You can't argue with those people. Well, I explained that earlier, Golden. I personally, I'm okay with the NIL, but there needs to be some limits on it. Because I talked about the kid who, the freshman who's going into, I think, Texas A&M, and he already has $9 million in his pocket. That's ridiculous. Yeah, basically it's ESPN junkies, of course. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm going to call it a night. But I thank all of you for joining, except for the few ones that came in and tried to ruin it, but complete control with this one. Yeah, junkies that rattle off weak schedule and weak facilities. It's all courtesy of ESPN. I find it funny because Notre Dame just redid all their facilities like 5 years ago. They upgraded everything. I know, that's why they call it BSPN. The closest playoff game will be in a dome. I don't know. I mean, I'd love to see the weather elements. All right, I'm just gonna wait to see if there's any comments because I want to make sure I get all your guys' comments. But I'm sorry, I might miss some. I know it's great facilities now, but they don't know it because they're freaking stupid. I mean, really, a lot of these people in journalism, especially ESPN, are just freaking stupid. I really wonder how any of these people have jobs to begin with, but I know why. But like I said, I'm not getting into political stuff. So, all right, guys. Well, I'm going to call it a night. And again, thank you guys so much for all you newcomers. I hope you stay subscribed. But of course I can't make anybody. It's only if you guys like the content. And if you don't like us, then yeah, you can unsubscribe. But if you like what Ben and I put out here on this channel, if you check us out, all I'm saying is give us a chance. That's it. So you all have a great night. God bless, and go Irish.